this is a great angle for my GPS and a terrible angle for my video camera. So I'm driving home and I heard a press conference about the first confirmed case of coronavirus here in Indiana. And that's a big deal, right? This is a viral thing, and I'm not a virologist, I'm not a public health specialist, but I understand enough about disease state to know this is not something we necessarily want to just ignore. But I don't think it has risen to the point where, and nor do I think that this particular virus is so horrific that we need to all rush out and either buy up all the face masks and all the Clorox wipes or completely sequester ourselves in our homes. And I'm honestly hearing both of those reactions and seeing some really interesting conspiracy theories floating around about this situation. So wherever you sit on the conspiracy theory spectrum, that's your business. But if you start freaking out and causing situations that affect all of us, then that's all of our business. So when hospitals are facing shortage of needed supplies to keep us alive because people are panicking, that's a problem. And the virus situation is not the only stress factor we have going on right now. Obviously, America is right in the middle of an election cycle. God help us. And I don't know where you sit, individual people, on the political spectrum. Most of my friends, I know where you sit, but not all. And it doesn't really matter. You're going to be feeling stress probably, whether it's because your person is losing or your person is getting attacked or whatever. There's just this sort of constant undercurrent of pretty radical negativity. It's astonishing how much bad emotion is wrapped up in elections. Some of it on purpose because that's what garners ratings, and some of it just by the nature of the process. So we have election cycle stress, we have viral outbreak stress, and then we have like the normal American stress, things like socioeconomic conflict, risk of war around the world, financial markets being incredibly volatile for a wide variety of reasons. And the list goes on and on. So we are living with this stress level that's probably a little more elevated than normal, but never really goes away. So that's the human condition. And it's also a human condition to react to stress by going, keep the DNA, preserve the DNA, pass it on to the next generation, run away, whatever. So that's fine, and that's how we've evolved, but that's only good for literally preserving the DNA, and not even great at that. It's not good when it comes to trying to make decisions that are in everybody's best interest, because when you freak out, you literally are unable to access those higher thinking functions. So if you're going to, as I tell my kids when they leave the house, make good choices, you have to figure out how to deal with that stress reaction in a way that allows you to reinstate those higher thinking functions pretty quickly. Now, if like me, you're driving and you see a deer or a dog or something in the street and you want to avoid that, then yes, let your adrenal response happen and deal. But right after that, you've got to figure out a way to come back down and move on with your life in a way that's rational and logic-based. So there are a number of ways that we as individuals can short-circuit that response that are healthy and sustainable, and honestly, they're all free. One of the best ways to deal with that sense of panic clawing up the back of your throat is to just pause for a second and take just three good deep breaths. You'll be astonished by how much better you feel. It takes about 15 to 20 seconds. It doesn't cost you anything. You can do it in the car. You can do it at your desk. You can, whatever. You're breathing anyway. Just make them good deep breaths instead of your normal hyperventilation stuff. And it's going to be fine. And that will give you a minute to catch your breath, literally, and calm down, literally, and make better decisions on the other side. There are lots of other ways you can deal with stress too. Maybe breathing isn't your jam, although I don't know how that's possible. But maybe you'll try a 2-minute meditation or a 5-minute meditation. You can do those in the car. You can do those sitting on the toilet at work. There are lots of ways to incorporate meditation in your world, and it's amazing how powerful that tool is if it works for you. You can give somebody a hug with consent. You can reach out and have a conversation with somebody about what's going right in their world. Or you can keep a journal. It doesn't have to be a journal. I'll tell you what, take a minute right now and say out loud 3 things that you're happy for. I am happy that I got home safely. I am happy that I have access to technology that lets me think about things like this. And I'm happy that I know about happiness, because it changes the way I interact with the world, and I'm so grateful for that. I can't change the election cycle. I certainly can't stop the virus, this virus or any other virus, from moving its way around the globe. But I can choose how I react to these things, and by that very decision, I can change the world for myself. So remember, happiness really is courage. So be brave and be happy.